Hello and welcome. My name is Kathy Plomer, and I'm an impact manager at Next 50. And with me today is Rach Ankard, who is an impact coordinator here. Changing Aging is our newest grant and the second funding opportunity that we are opening in 2024. We are excited to provide you with this overview information. A few housekeeping items. Before we begin, we want to cover a few things. This webinar is not live. It is a recording and it will be available to view and refer to at any time on our website. Second, you can click the closed captioning icon at the bottom of the screen if you need to. And finally, this webinar is intended to be an overview of this funding opportunity. For additional details, including our full grant guidelines, information about our priority areas, priority populations, and the evaluation criteria, please go to our website. We strongly encourage you to check out all the details before applying.
For those of you unfamiliar with us, I'd like to offer just a little background about who we are. Next 50, formerly known as Next 50 Initiative, is a Colorado-based private foundation. We fund organizations within Colorado and nationally who work to improve the lives of older adults. Our mission is to promote independence and dignity for the aging population, to include the needs of low and moderate income persons, encompassing individuals with physical, cognitive, and/or behavioral disabilities, by encouraging and supporting innovative, affordable, and coordinated services and initiatives. While we do fund nationally, as part of our formation agreement, 80% of our funding is specifically intended for Colorado-based organizations. Some of our funding opportunities are restricted to Colorado-based entities, while others, like this one, are open to organizations nationally. This is a national opportunity, and there will be no preference given based on location.
Next 50 has identified 3 priority areas where we focus our grant-making efforts. Our first priority is ending ageism. This focuses on ending age-related stereotypes, prejudice, and discrimination directed toward others and ourselves. In this priority, we seek to fund expanding research and data collection to include older adults, increasing social awareness of ageism, such as with efforts to include age diversity in media, age-inclusive workforce or human resources training, age-friendly community initiatives, including intergenerational efforts, policy and advocacy efforts for legal protections against age-related bias.
Our second priority is advancing digital equity. This focuses on addressing the accessibility and affordability of technology for all older adults and the organizations that serve them. In this priority, we seek to fund efforts that increase access to technology, programs that promote age-inclusive design and aging-in-place technologies, AI for social impact programs benefiting older adults, policy and advocacy efforts to increase affordable internet access, and digital literacy programs such as those that facilitate digital access to financial resources.
Our third and final priority is supporting aging in place. This focuses on the resources and economic freedom needed for older adults to live where they feel most comfortable and maintain autonomy. In this priority, we seek to fund affordable housing or homelessness prevention programs, creative solutions for in-home wraparound services, caregiver or direct care workforce support and services, access to public benefits assistance, including financial literacy programs, and legal assistance services, including fraud protection and education. Please note the lists of eligible funding ideas are meant to be examples. There may be other related priorities that fit within these categories, and we encourage you to schedule a discovery call to discuss alignment of your specific program with our priority areas.
A change that we've recently adopted is a more intentional focus on understanding how intersectional identities can affect the way people age. Intersectionality refers to the interconnected nature of social categorizations such as race, gender, class, and other identity factors, which create unique and overlapping systems of disadvantage or privilege. When considering older adults and their intersectional identities, it becomes evident that their experiences are shaped by the interplay of various factors, leading to distinct challenges within systemic structures. Therefore, Next 50 aims to direct financial support to organizations that grasp and confront the intersectional identities of older adults. Applicants for all of our funding opportunities will be required to demonstrate a commitment to advancing equity for marginalized older adults. Applicants seeking Changing Aging funding must demonstrate how they currently serve historically marginalized or geographically underserved older adults, including, but not limited to, any of the following priority populations, which includes Black or African American, American Indian or Alaska Native, Asian, Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander, immigrant/refugee, Hispanic or Latino, living with a physical, cognitive, or behavioral disability, LGBTQ+, low income, homeless, rural, or those in frontier communities.
Now let's get into the details and guidelines for our Changing Aging funding opportunity. The purpose of the funding opportunity is to fund projects that support economic well-being for marginalized older adults. We define that as age 50 plus, and the organizations who serve them through systems level and programs innovations in our 3 priority areas: ending ageism, advancing digital equity, and supporting aging in place. Eligible entities include 501c3, 501c4, and 501c6 entities. We also accept applications from government and university entities. As was noted before, organizations will need to clearly demonstrate their dedication to serving marginalized older adults in their applications.
For this funding opportunity, there is no funding maximum. However, please only request what you need. Funding is limited and is very competitive. We do ask that organizations requesting over $150,000 per year schedule a discovery call to discuss that request with Next 50 staff before applying. Applicants can apply for up to 3 years of funding. And a few other important notes: each entity may only submit 1 application for Changing Aging. And if your organization receives a 2024 Colorado Organizational Resiliency Grant, you are not eligible to apply for the Changing Aging funding opportunity.
We'll talk a little bit about our financial eligibility requirements. An organizational financial audit is required for organizations requesting more than $30,000 per year. The audit must not be older than 12/31/2021. Also, nonprofits with an annual operating budget of $500,000 or less are eligible to request more than $30,000. If invited to stage 2 of the application process, these organizations can submit an external financial review or compilation instead of an audit. We do allow for organizations to apply with a fiscal sponsor, and we have more information on that on our website, but we do not accept applications from for-profit entities with a fiscal sponsor.
All right, so now we'll talk about the discovery call, which is part of our pre-application process. Next 50 consistently receives significantly more applications than we can fund in each funding cycle. And a part of our unique application process is the discovery call. This is a pre-step to applying, and we do require, as mentioned before, any organization applying for $150,000 per year or more. And we do strongly encourage all organizations planning to apply to set up a discovery call with the Next 50 staff member. These 15-minute calls allow applicants to determine whether their project or program is a fit for the Changing Aging grant opportunity before they begin the application. Staff members can answer any questions you have, and you can gain a greater understanding of Next 50's funding priorities through these conversations. This discovery call will prepare you for our 2-step review process.
Next 50 has a new 2-stage application process that aims to enhance the efficiency of the process and benefit both applicants and Next 50. Stage 1 is a written application. In the first stage, grant seekers fill out a concise application within our online grants management system. Applicants will be asked to provide a brief overview of how the requested funds will exemplify innovation, showcase the organization's dedication to justice, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and emphasize its priority on supporting marginalized older adults. After reviewing the applications, Next 50 will notify applicants via email, either declining their request or extending an invitation to advance to the next phase of the review process. Stage 2 is a virtual conversation. The second stage of the evaluation process will be exclusively offered to applicants who most strongly align with changing aging funding guidelines. This stage involves a virtual conversation with a staff reviewer, providing an opportunity for a more in-depth discussion about the organization's funding needs. During the conversation, applicants can expect the reviewer to ask clarifying questions about the request in alignment with our evaluation criteria. Applications invited to schedule a virtual conversation will also be required to submit financial documents in addition to those already submitted in stage 1. Notifications will be made in mid-November of 2024.
All right. Now, just a little bit more information on the Changing Aging Stage 1 application. Please do note that applications for Stage 1 will open on July 1st, and they are due on July 31st at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. We do encourage folks to begin drafting and editing their application in the provided Word document that you will find on our website. Please fill that out before copying and pasting this content into the Flux online portal where you will submit your application. There is no word limit for the narrative responses. However, we do ask that you keep your responses focused and concise. All Stage 1 applicants will be required to submit the following: an IRS determination letter, a certificate of good standing, a complete Form 990, including Schedule B, your organization's non-discrimination policy, a current list of board of directors or trustees and affiliations. This is required for the 501c3 organizations, and if applicable, a fiscal sponsor agreement.
Stage 2. So stage 1 of the application involves a straightforward written application with only a few required financials. Stage 2 allows Next 50 staff to have more in-depth conversations with applicants and their partners and to learn more about the organization's financial health through a virtual conversation. We recommend that applicants have relevant staff members from their organizations and their partner organizations present for the virtual conversation. Next 50 will ask questions to further determine the proposal's alignment with the changing aging grant priorities. We also ask for additional financial information to learn more about the health and financial need of the applicant organization. You will be asked for your most recent financial audit, a current statement of activities, year-to-date profit and loss statement dated within 90 days, a current statement of financial position or a balance sheet dated within 90 days, prior fiscal year statement of activities, full year profit and loss statement, memorandum of understanding or letter of commitment from any named partners, and fiscal sponsor audit or a financial review or compilation if you have a fiscal sponsor. We do need to note that funding is very competitive and it is not guaranteed for invitees to stage 2, and we will explore partial awards if necessary. There are certain things that will not be funded through this grant opportunity. LLCs or for-profit organizations, as we said before, we do not accept applications from for-profit organizations under a nonprofit fiscal sponsor. Requests that duplicate state or federal funding, including Medicare and Medicaid. Requests for matching state or federal funding. Requests that do not align with Next 50's funding priorities or equity focus. We also do not fund lobbying, political campaigns, and requests with the goal of supporting a specific political position, fundraising and general event sponsorships, Type 3 non-functionally integrated supporting organizations as classified by IRS Form 990, Schedule A, Part 1, or wet lab research.
All right, and now a little bit about how these applications will be evaluated. We will be evaluating them across multiple criteria, which includes the following on your screens, and I'll break them down now. One of them will be connection to marginalized older adults. So requesting organizations must demonstrate a current focus on serving marginalized populations aged 50 plus and or their caregivers. Please refer to our list of priority populations that I mentioned earlier and are also available on our website. Applicants who demonstrate a strong understanding of the intersectional identities of the older adults they serve and who actively work to dismantle systemic barriers to access will be prioritized in this funding opportunity. They will also be evaluated with their commitment to justice, equity, diversity, and inclusion. Applicants must clearly demonstrate the organization's commitment to these values, including staff and leadership diversity, as well as thoughtful and intentional efforts to understand and promote equitable and inclusive values as an organization. You will also be evaluated on your alignment to priority areas. Applicants should be able to briefly describe how their work with older adults aligns with one or more of Next 50's priority areas. As mentioned earlier, those are ending ageism, advancing digital equity, and supporting aging in place. We will evaluate your applications based on innovation. Applicants should articulate how their request is innovative by 1, highlighting the novelty of the requested idea, and 2, by showcasing how this request goes beyond existing solutions to increase organizational effectiveness, equity, efficiency, or sustainability. We will also evaluate you on partnership. Applications will be strengthened by meaningful partnerships that contribute to the grant's ultimate impact on changing aging. Partners may be other nonprofits or may include cross-sector collaborations. Applicants will be asked to provide an MOU or letter of commitment from any named partners during stage 2 of the application process. Ideally, named partners will be present during the stage 2 virtual conversations as applicable. Need for funds. Applicants must clearly describe their organization's financial need for the requested funds. Because we expect to receive more applications than we will be able to fund, we will consider both an organization's need for funding and its financial sustainability. If you have significant cash reserves or a budget surplus, please explain why the requested funds are needed. Similarly, if you have low cash reserves or a budget deficit, please share how the requested funds will help improve financial sustainability and or how you plan to improve your financial position. Finally, applications will be evaluated by the thoroughness and timeliness of the submission. Grant seekers must submit all grant materials on time in order to be considered for funding. All attached documents must be readable in the submitted format. Applicants must not submit password-protected documents as these cannot be opened or considered.
Our grants portal called Flux. Please note that while we do have a Word doc version of the application for you to use as you draft and edit your proposal, you will need to create a Flux account if you don't already have one to submit your application through this portal. Existing grantees will need to select or recreate create a password at the bottom left side of the screen and enter the same email that they used for their old account in our new portal. New users will create a new account and enter their information. For new users, please note that it can take up to 2 days for a new account to be approved. Please register for your Flux account well before the deadline of July 31st to ensure your ability to submit your application on time. For complete instructions, please go to our website.
Okay, after all of this information in the webinar, for those of you who are interested in applying for Changing Aging, here are the next steps to please follow to move forward with that. Step 1, schedule a discovery call. Discovery calls are not mandatory, but are highly encouraged to determine if this changing aging funding is a fit for your organization. Please note that our discovery call time slots are now only 15 minutes to accommodate more calls. Therefore, we do ask that you review the changing aging materials on our website and have questions ready prior to meeting with a staff member. Step 2, plan your application and set up your Flex account. Before you apply, be sure to read over our full grant guidelines, evaluation criteria, and tip sheet on our website. You will also need to create and/or access your account for our Flex Grants Management portal. Step 3, begin your application offline. Again, the offline Word version of the application is available on the website. We highly encourage you to use this offline version to save and finalize your work before copying and pasting it into Flex for submission. And the last step is to enter your grant information in the Flex portal and submit by 5 p.m. on July 31st. All right, well, thank you so much for joining our webinar. We hope that the information provided has been helpful to you as you consider applying for the Changing Aging funding opportunity. If you have any remaining questions, please reach out to schedule a discovery call. You can find that on our website as linked here, www.next50foundation.org. And we will end the recording now. Have a great rest of your day and week.